some days are just better than others. This is the Early Line SportsGrid Network. Donnie Rightside, Joe Ranieri said, well, why would you say that? Do you understand what is on deck for today? 4 games in the Sweet 16, a full slate of Major League Baseball, the weekend ahead, which has the Elite Eight, and so many hot topics to get into, which we had the official start of Major League Baseball yesterday on Netflix, an absolute runaway 7-0 Yankees win, which we will get into a little bit later in the program. But Joe, I'm energized. Citizens Bank Ballpark today, 4 o'clock, opening day, 70 degrees in the Northeast. Told you, it doesn't get any better than this, Joe.
Yeah, no, really fantastic job by the Major League Baseball schedulers to open it up right on the Sweet 16. Fantastic stuff, Major League Baseball. Really good. Thank you so much for that, Donnie. Unreal.
It's a good point. Like, why don't we wait till Monday when it's like we can enjoy everything and do fun? I don't know. It's just Major League Baseball. Sometimes people don't want money, but you know what they need, Joe? Maybe you need a cup of coffee if you stayed up last night to watch that Netflix game, which didn't start at 8. It started at 8:30. Caffeinated Joe. Hot topic right now.
Yeah, Donnie. Well, the 2026 Major League Baseball season is officially underway. And listen, if you tuned in to the Yankees and Giants game last night, you did witness history. And I'm, of course, not just talking about the fact that the Yankees trashed the Giants 7-0, but I'm talking about the very first live Major League broadcast on Netflix. And there is more to come, which, of course, proved one thing very quickly, Donnie, if you tuned in. Netflix, has absolutely no idea what the hell they're doing when it comes to broadcasting a live baseball game. Now, don't get me wrong. There were some bright spots here. I mean, having Barry Bonds talk about his career and what a terrible teammate he was. Good stuff. I thought CeCe Sabathia and Hunter Pence in the booth also very good. I thought the picture quality looked like a movie for most of the night, especially once they figured out that their center field camera, the main camera, had a bit of an iris problem and the entire screen was blue for an inning and a half. But once they figured that out, I thought the picture was great. But my goodness, I mean, the executives at Netflix completely forgot that the people tuning in to their streaming service, they actually wanted to watch baseball. And instead of focusing on the sport, they turned the entire pregame show and half of the actual broadcast into a giant $50 million commercial for their own streaming library. We had John Cena popping up everywhere like a bad rash. We had the WWE and Jey Uso getting introduced to a completely confused crowd in San Francisco about 20 minutes after the first pitch, which, by the way, Donnie, you mentioned, was late. And then we had Bert Kreischer sitting shirtless in a kayak in McCovey Cove, drinking a beer while the game was happening, and nobody knew what the hell that was all about either. They even stopped the pregame show to do a full promo for Did you even know Stranger Things is still happening? But, well, Netflix did an entire promo pregame, included a spiked bat on the desk when they returned. But here is the most unforgivable part of the entire night, Donnie. We have been telling you for how long now? We told you again this week. The brand new automated ball strike challenge system. It's the biggest rule change in decades in Major League Baseball. And sure enough, in the top of the fifth, guess what? We got the very first ABS challenge in regular season history. What did Netflix do? They missed it, Donnie. Completely missed it. Why? Because they were running some sort of completely forgettable and useless routine dugout interview with the Giants manager. And that challenge, historic challenge, happened entirely off screen. It was not shown. It wasn't discussed in real time. In fact, Donnie, the only way anybody even knew it happened was because it was all over X and social media that it was the very first one. You did not get to cover the historic first in a sport that's been around for 900 years. Unbelievable. And don't get me started on the score bug, which was like its own drive-in movie theater there. I couldn't even tell where the balls were, the strikes were. It took up half the screen, Donnie. It was the most absurd thing I have ever seen. So Netflix treated opening night like a Hollywood red carpet event that just happened to have a baseball game going on in the background. if they want to be taken seriously in the live sports world, which I'm assuming the money they're paying they do, then they need to remember what the product is and what the fans are actually tuning in to see when they want to see it. And hopefully, Donnie, Netflix and the suits will figure that out before the next game.
Oh, it's good. It's a great opening topic, too, because when the one Uso brother opened the telecast before the game started to hype the crowd up, they cut to the crowd. I don't think anybody was paying any attention, but the Netflix guys, the crowd, like, oh, man, that was awesome. What a start to the Major League Baseball season. Like, no, I don't think that hit home at this point. It was such a good point. And also, like, I'm getting ready, like, 8:05. I got to be in front of my TV, Joe. I log on to Netflix. Literally, I know we were a half hour away from still playing the Major League Baseball game with so many commercials you could shake a stick at. It's crazy that it happened last night, but here we are on Major League Baseball opening day. Great topic here, Joe. Let's get to the early lineup, and it does start with Major League Baseball opening day. 22 teams involved today on a Thursday. Let's get after it, Joe.
I'm so excited here, Donnie. I mean, it was good to get baseball back last night. It's going to be even better to have it back today. And like you said, a little afternoon baseball. Welcome that back into our lives here, Donnie.
What if I would have told you, Joe, in the future, you're going to watch a Wednesday night football game to open the season, which I'm the ultimate hater. I don't mind that at all. But tell your kids this. I watched an NFL game that was played on a Friday, but I watched it live on a Thursday night. How about that? 10 o'clock local kickoff or so for that Rams game versus the 49ers, which is on a Friday, but really a Thursday. Oh, we're stretching things out, Joe, aren't we?
Yeah, Donnie, would you be shocked if I told you that Wednesday game is also going to be in Thailand at one point? Yeah, because that's also coming here, Donnie. More. That's what the NFL's all about.
I'll tell you what we do need more of. Las Vegas Super Bowls. They just make sense. It's a great city to get around. Tons of hotel rooms. Stadium close to the strip here. Gambling, everything works perfectly. For me, Joe, I think it should be Miami, New Orleans, and Vegas in a constant rotation. But Vegas getting the next Super Bowl, a matter of formality.
Yeah, shocker. I guess the Davis family still wields some interesting power there in the I don't know, Park Avenue offices, don't they? Going back to Vegas, okay, let's see how that works out.
Look, Mark Davis there comes out. It has Dr. Lightning as his new girlfriend and is going to get a Super Bowl in 2029. Let's get it popping, people. Patrick Mahomes, he was on video, Joe. Looks like he's going to be starting week 1, no?
I think, listen, the minute that Kelsey re-signed and was coming back, I think that was a pretty good indicator that his boy, Patrick Mahomes, is doing pretty well here, Donnie.
What a surprise. We do, prediction markets all the time. Yes, the NBA is going to expand. How about this? The Board of Governors vote to explore expansion bids. No doubt about it's coming. They're just trying to figure out the dollars, Joe.
Yeah, worst kept secret in mankind there. Donnie, we knew this was coming. They should have never left Seattle to begin with, but they're on their way back, Donnie. And could there be more to come? Who knows?
Butler basketball's got itself a new head coach here, and it is Robert Norred. How about that? Butler Bulldogs, baby. Come on now. Let's get some dubs together.
Yeah, people thought Brad Stevens might be. Like, no, and no. He's not leaving the Celtics in the NBA. No, it's not. But kudos to Butler. Thad Matta retiring there, so get Butler back to being relevant in college basketball would be great.
To end the show yesterday, we talked about a distillery suing Live Golf because apparently that's their logo. Never heard of that distillery. And maybe it's good just to get your name in the highlights here. Like, hey, we are a distillery and we want some money.
Yeah, well, that's basically it. And trust me, the Live Golf guy, somebody in that leadership group has already written a check, Donnie, and now they own that distillery. Trust me.
It's going to be named, one of the trophies is going to be a vodka bottle, people. Be ready for it. We're just getting started on a Thursday. We'll be right back after this short break.
We are really starting to see that slowdown, and we're anticipating it with March Madness this year. Obviously, you don't have as many states going online. Gone are the days when you're adding 10 states every year, so the numbers will inflate that way. And you mentioned prediction markets taking money as well. One firm, HG Gambling Capital, estimates that they'll add about another $500 million in bets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
He didn't get 50 home runs. He only stole 13 bases. Boy, he only pitched to a 4.15 ERA. Yeah, he's not the MVP. Like, who can steal it from him? If Ohtani plays the whole season, who can steal it from him, Tom?
It has to be something so dramatic that it will bring pause to the voters to say, hey, Ohtani's great. He was a good pitcher this year. He was a really good hitter. But what this player doing, we have to take note of.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
So why is this? The bigger question, Kevin, that we should be asking is, why is this happening now? This could have happened last week. Could have happened the week before. It is goodwill season, Kevin. It is goodwill season. We want to make sure the fans are buying those tickets. We are committed to opening day.
I like that.
We are committed to spending them. I mean, look, it is what it is. Like, this is what you do to fire up the fan base.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
I do believe there are causes for players to become basketball drunk. Thursday, Friday, you're sitting around a hotel and all you're doing is watching ball. And then you go out on the floor and you're a little bit groggy. Yeah, because all you've done is just, you've laid in that hotel bed and watched game after game after game. And you get caught up in the emotion. Like everybody in the country was.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
Sweet 16 action and NBA action right here for your ears. By the way, tonight, only 3 NBA games on deck, but you got some pretty good stuff to pick through here. Game number 1, we'll start with Joe. The New York Knicks in town to take on the Charlotte Hornets. And you might look at this lineup, but wait a second. Overnight, outlets were showing the Knicks as a favorite. That's no longer the case. You see the graphic, -1 here for the Hornets, and some outlets already moving on to -1.5. How about that, Joe? Knicks, Hornets tonight. The Knicks now, the underdogs in Charlotte. What's your spread line?
Yeah, I mean, right. Well, I mean, the red hot Charlotte, right? I mean, they continue their run. I mean, now what? 4 straight, 22 of 28 since January 22nd. I mean, it has been about as dramatic a turnaround for a season that we have seen in a very long time. And I think it all has to do, obviously, that they have stayed healthy and their young guys, their young players, are playing at a absolute all-star level here. I think Charles Lee, the head coach, has done an amazing job. And listen, the Knicks on the road, they've been much better at home. This is not a guaranteed spot for the Knicks at all. I kind of like Charlotte, and I kind of like the over there more than anything else in this game here, Donnie.
3 balls going down for the Hornets. We'll see if they live or die by the 3-point line, but playing much better basketball. Con Knipple out here. Who would have thought maybe as a rookie?
Yes.
He's a much better player than Cooper Flagg. Uh-oh, people. Let's get it over to the Detroit Pistons. They're going to take on my New Orleans Pelicans here. The Pelicans are on the road. Pistons are the home team, Joe. Overnight, that line sat at 5.5. Now we're seeing, as the graphic states, -5 for the Pistons, but also some outlets also, Joe, moving to -4.5. A total in this game, 226.5. Pels in town to take on the Pistons. What's that spread line for you?
Wow, tough spot here for Detroit, right? I mean, they dropped one last night at home against the Atlanta Hawks in overtime, of all things. And now, of course, they've got a pretty tough one coming up here with New Orleans, who, again, is not tanking because they don't have any draft picks. So, and they're also healthier than they've been in a while, right? So we just saw them get another cover against the Knicks last time out. I kind of can't help but the spot looking at the Pelicans here, Donnie. I don't think it's a shock if we start to see more money come towards New Orleans before the tip here tonight. This is no Cade Cunningham, the second of a back-to-back off an overtime game that you lost. This is a tough spot for the Detroit Pistons tonight for sure.
Sweet 16 action in college basketball here. A 10:05 estimated start. That's Illinois going to take on Houston here, Joe. That line opened up at 2.5. It still sits today at -2.5 points. The total of this game listed at 139.5. 2 explosive teams on offense, on defense. You got everything you want to watch tonight, Joe. So what's the spread line that the people need to know for this one?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, anybody expect here tonight that Houston? Of course we did. We expect Houston. We expected Illinois, Donnie. And you know what else? A lot of people very upset here that Houston, well, this game is in Houston at the Toyota Center here. You want to talk about a little home cooking. Do you know Houston has only lost 9 games in that city since 2018? They love playing basketball in Houston here, and this is going to be a matchup of strength versus strength, defense versus offense, Donnie. Which one gives out? This could be the most. To me, this is a Final Four game. I'm not happy it's happening in the Sweet 16 because this would make an absolutely outrageous Final Four game, but only one team's going to advance here, and it's likely going to be the team that can get enough stops when it matters the most.
Yeah, take a look at the Ken Palm numbers here. Illinois on offense, number 2 in efficiency. Houston on defense, number 4 nationally in efficiency. Flip it over to Houston's offense, top 10 in efficiency, and Illinois' defense, top 25 in efficiency here. An absolutely fantastic game tonight on deck. Iowa and Nebraska, 7:30 start here, Joe. I should say, the opening numbers had Nebraska around a 3.5-point favorite. That has dropped here. You see the graphic about to pop up. Minus 1.5 points now as a favorite for Nebraska. The total, Joe, 131.5, which is also down from 134.5 at the opening number. So price point coming down for the total, price point coming down for the favorite, Joe. Iowa, Nebraska, what are we looking at as a spread line?
Well, this is, again, the third meeting between these two teams, right? They know each other very well. We had mentioned the first game they played this year was about as ugly as you could get. 57-52, Donnie, was the final score in that game. So they were able to actually shoot much better in the second time they met. But listen, they've split the season series, and here we go. What's going to happen here? Usually we see these totals move up, but with these two teams who know each other, who are not exactly the fastest paced teams in the world, at least not Iowa anyway, yeah, this could be a lot more defense and a lot less offense again. I do agree with the move to the under, but to me, this is all about what does Iowa have left in the tank, Donnie? Did they leave it all out there beating number 1 Florida? They know this team better than anybody. Not a lot of prep that has to go on here. If the Cornhuskers are making shots from 3, the Cornhuskers win. If Iowa can get some stops, boy, oh boy, nobody would have seen a 9 seed in the South moving on.
Yeah, Big Ten represented, Joe, in 3 of these 4 games, as we just previewed their entirety of one game there with Iowa and Nebraska. My favorite game of the night, estimated 9:45 Eastern tip. It's Arkansas and it's Arizona. Line opened up around 8.5, but sits now, Joe. Most outlets at minus 7.5. You want points? Looks like we're going to get them too. 166.5. Couple talented youngsters there. Braden Berry's there for Arizona, and also Darius Acuff for Arkansas. Love this game. Should be fun to watch. We'll see how it goes down. What's your spread line for it, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, Calipari, right? I mean, my goodness, he has been, as an underdog in the postseason, he has been really, really good throughout his career, Donnie. And Tommy Lloyd, for some reason, can't seem to get out of this round here. He's had some great teams over the years there with Arizona, and as well as Gonzaga when he was the assistant coach there. And guess what? Can't seem to get out there, at least not in the last 3 attempts. So this is huge for them. Can they get over the hump, Arizona? If they're truly the best team in the country, they will win this game, and they will prove they're the best team in the country. But something tells me don't count out Calipari and Acuff Jr. just yet. I think Arkansas is going to give Arizona all they can handle.
2 games starting the 7 o'clock hour tonight. Texas and Purdue first on deck at 7:10, followed by Iowa and Nebraska at 7:30. The 2 late games tonight, Arkansas and Arizona, estimated 9:45, and Illinois and Houston at 10:05. Sweet 16 action, baby. But you know what? Major League Baseball opening day.
We are really starting to see that slowdown, and we're anticipating it with March Madness this year. Obviously, you don't have as many states going online. Gone are the days when you're adding 10 states every year, so the numbers will inflate that way. And mentioned prediction markets taking money as well. One firm, HG Gambling Capital, estimates that they'll add about another $500 million in bets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
He didn't get 50 home runs. He only stole 13 bases. Boy, he only pitched to a 4.15 ERA. Yeah, he's not the MVP. Like, who can steal it from him? If Ohtani plays the whole season, who can steal it from him, Tom?
It has to be something so dramatic that it will bring pause to the voters to say, hey, Ohtani's great. He was a good pitcher this year. He was a really good hitter. But what this player doing, we have to take note of.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
So why is this? The bigger question, Kevin, that we should be asking is why is this happening now? This could have happened last week. Could have happened the week before. It is goodwill season, Kevin. It is goodwill season. We want to make sure the fans are buying those tickets. We are committed to opening day.
I like that.
We are committed to spending them. I mean, look, it is what it is. Like, this is what you do to fire up the fan base.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
I do believe there are causes for players to become basketball drunk. Thursday, Friday, you're sitting around a hotel and all you're doing is watching ball. And then you go out on the floor and you're a little bit groggy. Yeah, because all you've done is just, you've laid in that hotel bed and watched game after game after game. And you get caught up in the emotion. Like everybody in the country was.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
Who's ready for Major League Baseball? Well, we were last night, and we got an absolute stunner. Maybe not. And also, by the way, Joe and I talked about this yesterday. 6.5-point number was the total listed yesterday. That rose to 7, which we told you was a big indicator. Like, hey, now it takes 8 to beat you. If you had the under, got the best price at 7, at least you got a push in the money back. But the Yankees did win. Let's hear from Booney post-game last night.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a testament to just how good he is and how he can beat you in different ways. I thought in some ways it was a bit of a grind for him tonight, kind of in and out of rhythm a little bit. I thought settled in the middle innings. It's just his arsenal is so vast that, even when, today was a little effectively wild, I'll call it, and it makes you have to account for a lot of things. Didn't really have his cutter, but his four-seamer was really good tonight, so he kind of leaned on that. But to, not going any more than 90 with him tonight to give us 6 1/3 after the way that first inning started was big. I mean, that's what an ace looks like when he's grinding, but what a tone he set for us.
Does it just kind of boil down to them, they put together a rally and one inning and you guys really didn't come up with much of anything?
Yeah, they just started kind of ambushing. I don't know. I threw all the pitches I wanted to throw, not necessarily where I wanted to throw them, but they did a good job. I did a bad job.
Boone talked about Max Fried last night here. 6 1/3 innings pitched, Joe. 2 hits, no earned runs. That's how you start the season off.
Yeah, and listen, I did not expect that, Donnie, because I didn't expect either guy to go, more than 5 innings, and you usually don't this time of year for the first month, especially with your number ones. But yeah, he made some great pitches, and the Giant hitters also, bailed him out a couple of times there, which allowed him to go as long as he did. I mean, they held that. Yankees bullpen didn't have to get really involved there until, the latter half of the innings. And for game 1, I'll take that. If you can give me starters that are going to go 6, maybe 7 innings, I am good to go with that.
Absolutely good to go. And by the way, first game of the day today, 1:15 Eastern start. That's the Pittsburgh Pirates in town to take on the New York Mets. It's Skeens and it's Peralta. There's a lot of pressure always in New York. Here's David Stearns talking about it here.
Owner did mention a couple of weeks ago that it's been too long since you've had a championship. I just wonder if you feel that and you have to push more in this year.
It has definitely been too long. I have zero memories of the Mets winning a World Series, right? They won a World Series. Mets won a World Series when I was a year old. So it has certainly been too long. I feel that as much as anyone. the way we win a World Series and the way we win multiple World Series is by being extremely consistent at a high level every single year and competing at a high level every single year. So we're never going to put blinders on. Don't think that's the right way to do things. But yeah, it's been too long.
Mets slight favorite today, minus 116 price. Skeens the underdog, Joe. Quickly, do you agree with that? How about that?
Yeah, I'm a little shocked at that there. I get the total here, Donnie, but call me crazy. Both these teams look a lot different than they did a year ago.
Here's Freddie Peralta talking about going toe-to-toe with Mr. Skeens.
Where do you fall in that? Do you
I think the best way that I see that is I admit and I know that that he's great and there's a lot of more great pitchers around the league too. But I see it that we're facing each other, and I know that he's giving the best for him and his team, and I just see it the same way that I give my best for me and my team, and I just see it the way that I'm competing against him. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's gonna be a probably tough day for the offense, and it makes me better when I know that I have that kind of pitcher on the mound.
Tough day for the unders there, Joe, or hitters, I should say. 7 is the listed total in that ballgame. By the way, East Coast temperatures today, fantastic. Like, we're looking at a game in Cincinnati, Joe. 81 degrees at first pitch. Philadelphia at 4:15, mid-70s at first pitch. That's an anomaly. Usually it's freezing cold. You got to layer up on opening day on the East Coast.
Yeah, I know, right? Some of these spots, Donnie, we're expecting snowstorms and everything else in years past, but I don't know. It looks like clear sailing here opening day.
Clear sailing opening day, and if you saw last night, 7-0. Some pitchers going to be better than others today, but that's a great way to start the official opening day, we like to say today, with Skeens going up against Peralta. It's going to end tonight with Cleveland sending Bybee to the mound, going up against Logan Gilbert. Opening day in Major League Baseball, much more coming on the early line. Make sure you stick it here with us on the SportsGrid Network.
We are really starting to see that slowdown, and we're anticipating it with March Madness this year. Obviously, you don't have as many states going online. Gone are the days when you're adding 10 states every year, so the numbers will inflate that way. And I mentioned prediction markets taking money as well. One firm, HG Gambling Capital, estimates that they'll add about another $500 million in bets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Get 50 home runs. He only stole 13 bases. Boy, he only pitched to a 4.15 ERA. Yeah, he's not the MVP. Like, who can steal it from him? If Ohtani plays the whole season, who can steal it from him, Tom?
It has to be something so dramatic that it will bring pause to the voters to say, hey, Ohtani's great. He was a good pitcher this year. He was a really good hitter. But what this player doing, we have to take note of.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
So why is this? The bigger question, Kevin, that we should be asking is, why is this happening now? This could have happened last week. Could have happened the week before. It is goodwill season, Kevin. It is goodwill season. We want to make sure the fans are buying those tickets. We are committed to opening day.
I like that.
We are committed to spending them. I mean, look, it is what it is. Like, this is what you do to fire up the fan base.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I do believe there are causes for players to become basketball drunk. Thursday, Friday, you're sitting around a hotel and all you're doing is watching ball. And then you go out on the floor and you're a little bit groggy. Yeah, because all you've done is just, you've laid in that hotel bed and watched game after game after game. And you get caught up in the emotion. Like everybody in the country was.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Sweet 16, it's almost here. First game of the night, Joe Ranieri, that's going to be 7:10 p.m. Eastern. It's Texas and it's Purdue. Line opened up around 6.5 points, now sitting today at most outlets at 7.5. What do you like about Purdue? Ken Palm says the most efficient basketball team on offense in the country, Joe. They don't turn the basketball over. They're very good at rebounding. They can shoot the three-point shot. They're very efficient from inside the arc as well. And we got a total listed at 147.5, Joe. Game number 1 tonight, Texas, Purdue.
Well, I'll tell you this, Donnie, and it makes sense, but Texas is by far the biggest public underdog darling that we have left here in the Sweet 16. And listen, it makes sense, right? I mean, first of all, the betting public loves, themselves some underdogs. They love, getting a ton of points. And the fact that it's usually 11 seeds, Donnie, that have all the success, I think, when it comes to March Madness. But what's ironic here is Texas is an 11 seed, an underdog, a Cinderella. Like, stop it. They have a bigger payroll on that roster than most teams do in the country here. That's one of the better teams money can buy. It just took Sean Miller a little while to figure it out. Different styles. I mean, listen, Texas can score with any of them because they have a lot of guys that can get to the rim and a lot of guys that can create their own shot. The problem with Texas is they foul a ton, and you know what's going to happen with Purdue. All the mid-range jump shots are going to set up the perimeter and the 3 jump shots, and if Purdue is making shots, I think this game goes flying over the total because I don't think Purdue defensively is going to give Texas a whole lot of resistance. But Purdue's going to score. I think that's for sure. They're going to get to the line. I think the over is the way to look in this game here. I think we're going to get a ton of points in this matchup tonight.
Texas, Joe, looking to go from first 4 to the final 4. But before they get there, could they run into a matchup that maybe Sean Miller would love to see? Let's hear from him.
I really haven't. I would hope they would cheer for us. We're the 11 seed. If I were them, I'd want us to win. But my relationship with Arizona is nothing but great. I have 3 sons. They all attended the University of Arizona, and each of them had an amazing experience. 2 of the 3, their girlfriend, potentially maybe who they end up with as their wife, also went to Arizona. I was there for 13 years. Have friendships that will last a lifetime. Our family was treated incredibly well. And then, my perspective of just watching Arizona, they couldn't have hired a better coach. I mean, what he has done is just, it's like legendary. And I know that the team that they have this year might be the best team at Arizona, one of the best ever. So that's where that stands. I mean, if we would beat Purdue, I'm at Texas. That would be like amazing. We're playing in the Elite 8. But the other part of it doesn't really exist for me. I think with that emotion, you can either burn the house down or make it warmer. And, I look at that place and that experience as nothing but just making my house warmer. I have nothing but positive thoughts, feelings, and perspectives towards that experience.
Translation, Joe. Let me at Arizona. I'll cut their heart out.
Well, I'm curious because if you burn down the house, doesn't that mean it automatically gets warmer, Donnie? I'm a little confused with his analogy there because, we can burn it down if you burn it down, it's going to get warmer one way or the other. But people forget, Donnie, that Sean Miller was supposed to be Lloyd there. I mean, Sean Miller was Arizona before he got embroiled in all sorts of sneaker controversies and everything else there. But listen, goes around and comes around, right? It's so funny how the basketball gods work here. That would be something, though, that's for sure. Texas, Arizona with him would be something else.
I'll tell you what's something else tonight. Iowa, Nebraska reaching the Sweet 16, the Big Ten, loving their action, what they say. And also, as we talked about to open up the show, Joe, line dropping. Graphic says 1.5. It was at 3.5. That line moving towards Iowa's direction as the 9 seed here, Joe. And a low total, the lowest of the night in college basketball at 131.5.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of turnovers, this is going to be a fun game, Donnie. but also at the same time, likely one of the most disgusting games that you see, because aesthetically it's not going to be it's going to be like watching the Washington Wizards, a Utah Jazz play with a bunch of G League players. It's not going to be fun at all. But I think it's got a potential to be very close. And ultimately, we saw Nebraska in one kind of walk-off, shot at the buzzer kind of win, where we might see another one in this game.
I'll tell you what, you are going to see some action and some fireworks when Arkansas is going to take on Arizona. We just heard from Sean Miller right there saying, you know what, let me at Arizona. We'll see if Arizona can get by Coach Cal and the boys. 8.5 numbers at the opening line. It actually dropped a little bit to 7.5, but look at that total, Joe. 166.5. That means both teams get 82-81. You don't even get a cover if you take the over. We're looking at points tonight and a lot of electricity in the building, Arkansas and Arizona.
Well, I mean, this is going to be interesting, to say the least. Again, Calipari over the years in the postseason as an underdog has been absolute money. But could this be the end of that run here? Because Arizona is the best team in the country. And I'm kind of with you. I think the total's not high enough. I don't know that I could sweat out an under in this game, Donnie. Yeah. It feels like this is going to be... I have no doubt Arkansas, and they're going to leave it all out on the court, which might mean, 90 points is going to have to win this game, Donnie.
How about this? The nightcap tonight expected to tip at 10:05. It's Illinois taking on Houston. Joe, that line opened up at 2.5, still sits at 2.5. Total 139.5. Efficiency on both ends of the court. A fantastic game, Joe. And home court advantage looks to be here for Houston. Let's take a look at Brad Underwood and what he's talking about going up against Houston.
I've been asked that before, and I'll be honest, I could care less. And I'm gonna sound really kind of selfish here. I'm an old JUCO ball coach. I drove on 16 passenger vans. I drove from Dodge City, Kansas to Mesa, Arizona for a basketball game, for a tournament in a bus. You had told me back then that I'm getting to coach basketball in the Sweet 16 and play Houston. I would sign up for it. I would crawl to get there. If we want to beat them, no matter where we play them, we'd have to play great. Guess what? We're going to have to do that tomorrow. And I think they're going to have to play well if they want a chance to beat us. And so we've won on the road. We've been pretty successful doing that in the Big Ten. So I don't pay too much attention to it. I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and playing Houston's a challenge enough. It doesn't matter where.
I'll tell you what's really interesting about this game, Joe, as we handicap. Like sometimes you see some anomalies, right? Illinois' defense doesn't force any turnovers at all. They're dead last in the country at doing that, which means you should get a more efficient Houston, who never turns the basketball over. However, Illinois' defense, number one in the nation at not fouling. And then you take Houston's offense, one of the worst teams at getting to the free throw line. It's such an interesting game with two unbelievable offenses and defenses, Joe, as it plays out in Houston tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of this is going to be, what is Illinois', what are their guards, right? Mm-hmm. What does the young freshman who had to step up in a big way there, Keaton Wagler. But don't forget, they got Kellen Boswell back for this game. So what is going to happen once Houston puts that ball pressure on them? Turnovers? Illinois doesn't get turnovers. When it comes to the defensive metrics, Illinois is not the team that's going to win with defense. They're going to outshoot you, and the math's going to work in their favor. If they have an off night shooting, Donnie, that's the difference in this game, is can Houston make it uncomfortable for those guards? If they do, at home, boy, oh boy, this is Houston's going to win this game comfortably.
Re-racking the Sweet 16 of the odds prices here if you think these teams are going to cut down. And that's the favorite is Michigan, followed by Arizona, and then those Duke Blue Devils, Joe. And tonight, we get started, and it rolls right into the weekend. It's a great time in sports, and it's a great time to watch the SportsGrid Network. We'll be back.
we are really starting to see that slowdown, and we're anticipating it with March Madness this year. Obviously, you don't have as many states going online. Gone are the days when you're adding 10 states every year, so the numbers will inflate that way. And I mentioned prediction markets taking money as well. One firm, HG Gambling Capital, estimates that they'll add about another $500 million in bets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
He didn't get 50 home runs. He only stole 13 bases. Boy, he only pitched to a 4.15 ERA. Yeah, he's not the MVP. Like, who can steal it from him? If Ohtani plays the whole season, who can steal it from him, Tom?
It has to be something so dramatic that it will bring pause to the voters to say, hey, Ohtani's great. He was a good pitcher this year. He was a really good hitter. But what this player doing, we have to take note of.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
So why is this? The bigger question, Kevin, that we should be asking is, why is this happening now? This could have happened last week. Could have happened the week before. It is goodwill season, Kevin. It is goodwill season. We want to make sure the fans are buying those tickets. We are committed to opening day.
I like that.
We are committed to spending them. I mean, look, it is what it is. Like, this is what you do to fire up the fan base.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I do believe there are causes for players to become basketball drunk. Thursday, Friday, you're sitting around a hotel and all you're doing is watching ball. And then you go out on the floor and you're a little bit groggy. Yeah, because all you've done is you've laid in that hotel bed and watched game after game after game. And you get caught up in the emotion. Like everybody in the country was.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
You want a little NBA talk, you're going to get it right now. By the way, it is opening day. And in Philadelphia today, we're going to watch Christopher Sanchez on the mound today to go up against the Texas Rangers and cheer for those fighting Phils. But did you notice, Joe, something happened last night in the city of brotherly love? Players are coming back to the lineup here. Maxi's not back yet, but you know who's back last night after a 25-game suspension? It was Paul George. He played 26 minutes and scored 28 points. We haven't seen Joel Embiid since 1982. He showed up last night. How about this, Joe? 35 points last night in that game and a plus 33 in a 157-137 victory, Joe. Let me ask you this quick question. You buying the Sixers for a championship now? Boys are back in town.
Oh, well, listen, with the amount of defense they showed last night, they are absolutely contenders here. But kudos to Paul George. I mean, he missed, 8 of his first 10 shots in the opening half there. I think he had just 5 points, but he ended up scoring 23 in the second half. So he figured it out, and Embiid obviously is a game changer, and we know that, and you're taking on the tanking Bulls. But listen, it had to be good as a Sixer fan to see everybody out there. Maxey will be back soon enough. You know, that's what they're capable of, 157 points. Wow, that was absurd last night.
By the way, you know what I'm actually looking at now, Joe? The Sixers scored 51 points in the third quarter. They're like 40-plus by the time they got to the fourth quarter. And usually it's like, okay, let's just run the clock out. The Bulls scored 53 points in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
So if I would have told you, Joe, the Bulls dropped 53 in the fourth quarter, do you think they covered? No, they got blown out by 20. Welcome to the NBA, which included, Joe, you had a bottom feeders game basically in that one with the Chicago Bulls. But the Thunder and the Celtics, we got video from Tatum going, I felt good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. What happened there last night? Let's see.
I mean, what did it feel like to be back in a high-level game like this?
I mean, it felt good. More importantly, just kind of like bouncing back from last game as a team. Started yesterday. We had a really good practice, and we just kind of wanted to come out here and play better and compete. And, we didn't start that way, but we responded and, we played really well towards the end.
I'm not too sure. The game definitely swung in their favor. I honestly speaking, I think we didn't start. The start was kind of like fool's gold. Like, we made some shots, and they missed some wide open ones, and we had a 10-point lead, but it didn't, personally, it didn't feel like it. And then once, the game settled into it, it felt like they got where they wanted for the majority of the game, and against a good team, that's never the recipe.
Donnie, I'm sorry, I'm blinded there. What was that? What was that he was wearing there? It just flashed, and now I can't see. Like, what was that? A coat? Was that a sweatshirt? Like, what was that? Oh,
It looked like maybe like a Hollywood actor cosplaying as an NBA player and doing like a parody at the same time. That's when you know, like, we won the championship last year. We're probably going to easily win it this year, at least we think. Let me rock out the pink fur hoodie / jacket. You got the nice chain. You got the nice watch. You got even the ring on his finger there. You got the shades. You got the cornrows. I mean, that guy looks like he's ready to win another MVP.
In Boston last night? Like, what was the temperature in Boston last night? Was it that cold? Were they in Siberia? Like, what are you wearing, man? Now they didn't. Now I'm so glad they didn't win. You don't deserve to win wearing that.
Now, I could see if he was outside of the TD Garden and was like, yeah, it's cold out here. Somebody caught me on the street trying to get to the bus, and I had my fur coat on to try to keep warm. We're at a post-game press conference, so I'm pretty sure it's probably like 72, 73 degrees in that building. You just played a basketball game. Let me throw in the fur. It's a nice flex job. By the way, tomorrow, we win a couple bets tonight. Maybe we show up in sunglasses and a nice fur tomorrow, huh? For the show.
You just gave me all sorts of ideas. Now, I got a couple of coats we can bust out here. Actually, I don't own a coat because I'm here in South Florida. But okay, well, I'll watch your coat, Donnie.
There you go. New York Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets. Maybe we get some fur coats in this game, because the one thing we do know is the Charlotte Hornets, they're the favorites over the New York Knicks in a total of 223.5. Smart moves NBA projection, Joe, says Charlotte by 1. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, Knicks as a road dog, and listen, they've had their road, weary over the year, over this season, especially here with the Knicks, but I listen, deservedly so, Donnie. I mean, since the calendar flipped to 2026, they have been one of the best teams, Charlotte. They have really come together. They're a very dangerous team, I think, heading into the postseason. I mean, how happy are you going to be if your opening round is against the Charlotte Hornets? You're not. This team is playing great basketball. The Knicks are going to have their hands full here tonight.
But I'm going to skip down to this topic here because I want to spend a little bit on this. The NBA owners vote to explore Vegas-Seattle expansion bids. That's just for it's accepted. Get your money up, because if you come out here at $4 or $5 million in bids, you ain't getting it at this point. You know it needs to be $7 to $10 billion. And I got a question for you, Joe. Owners want to make money, and if you get 2 more teams in, that's hundreds of millions of dollars in the back pocket for another NBA owner without doing anything, and they love that. But is it good for the greater good of the sport itself? Because to me, can you imagine, Joe, if we didn't add 2 teams and we remove 5 or 6 teams from the NBA, the level of play, and also understand this, we are so into superstars taking nights off in the regular season. The NBA is going to try to deal with the tanking, and we'll see what they come up with. But if you have more superstars on your team and a superstar misses, maybe people will still tune in and be happy with the product, because when your single superstar sits out, nobody wants to watch. But if you have multiple superstars, because why? The talent contracts itself and each team gets better and deeper, maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, this is just 2 more teams to tank, Donnie, in the last, 2/3 of the season. So congratulations. We'll get more complaints about guys having to play 65 games in order to qualify for awards and all of that. So, yeah, 2 expansion teams means 2 teams that are likely not going to be competitive to start, which means more bad basketball, Donnie. I'm all for it.
Like, again, you're like, everybody's always in it for a money grab. Like, hey, why is the game on Netflix last night? Because Netflix, like, we'll give you $1 billion. Just let us have a couple games. And like, oh, I can't pass that deal up. So you're asking for an other owner. Let's just say the Sixers owner, Josh Harris, who owns like 15 teams already. Hey, by the way, you have to do nothing. If you just say yes to this proposal, you get $400 million in your back pocket. Even if it's bad, like, well, by the time it's bad, I'm going to sell in 5 years anyway. Like, that's the way it comes down to it. The NBA is going to expand. We know it. It's more money. It's just the way sports are. We'll be right back after this short break.
We are really starting to see that slowdown, and we're anticipating it with March Madness this year. Obviously, you don't have as many states going online. Gone are the days when you're adding 10 states every year, so the numbers will inflate that way. And I mentioned prediction markets taking money as well. One firm, HG Gambling Capital, estimates that they'll add about another $500 million in bets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
He didn't get 50 home runs. He only stole 13 bases. Boy, he only pitched to a 4.15 ERA. Yeah, he's not the MVP. Like, who can steal it from him? If Ohtani plays the whole season, who can steal it from him, Tom?
It has to be something so dramatic that it will bring pause to the voters to say, hey, Ohtani's great. He was a good pitcher this year. He was a really good hitter. But what this player doing, we have to take note of.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
So why is this? The bigger question, Kevin, that we should be asking is, why is this happening now? This could have happened last week. Could have happened the week before. It is goodwill season, Kevin. It is goodwill season. We want to make sure the fans are buying those tickets. We are committed to opening day.
I like that.
We are committed to spending them. I mean, look, it is what it is. Like, this is what you do to fire up the fan base.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I do believe there are causes for players to become basketball drunk. Thursday, Friday, you're sitting around a hotel and all you're doing is watching ball. And then you go out on the floor and you're a little bit groggy. Yeah, because all you've done is you've laid in that hotel bed and watched game after game after game. And you get caught up in the emotion. Like everybody in the country was.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Joe Ranieri, Donnie Right Side Raid here on a Thursday. Sweet 16 action. Major League Baseball, the unofficial, official opening day where so many teams, 22 in fact, get underway today. But is Houston, Joe, the place to be this week? The reason I ask you, we got golf going on down there. We're going to get to the tournament itself. But Brooks Koepka just coming back to the PGA Tour. Is he right around the corner from winning? Let's check it out.
Yeah, I do feel like it is ready. The only thing I haven't done is really put myself in contention with 9 holes to go. That's really the last missing piece that I feel like I need to accomplish here before Augusta. But the game feels good. Everything's trending in the nice direction. Ball striking feels really, really good. Pete's done a phenomenal job just getting everything where it needs to be, and then. Yeah, the putting was a huge thing. I feel like it's been so different because I was putting so terribly. I felt like I had to birdie the hole almost from the fairway or from the tee box, where now I can sit back and kind of play golf how I used to play in 17 and 19, kind of in that run when I was playing very good, where I can be very patient and just kind of wait my time. I know I'm going to have 5 good chances on whatever hole it might be, and then just take advantage of there. I used to just kind of, it felt very boring. Just hit the center of the greens, and occasionally you push and pull one kind of right on the flag. But it was, I always think I said it was like conservatively aggressive. I picked the right line, the right spot to make sure that I was never going to make double. I've made a few doubles over the last few weeks, which has been kind of irritating, but my game is rounding into 4. I can see it. I don't know if it maybe result-wise it probably hasn't looked that way, but I can see it as a whole. It's really all starting to come together.
Koepka, top 5 in the odds market to win the Houston Open. Coming in, Joe, 22-1 here. How do we feel about that?
He's close, Donnie. I mean, listen, I've been watching him his entire career, and the putting, he's right, was the big issue when he made the leap from Live back to the Tour. But I can tell you what, his iron play is as good as ever. And I can tell you that's absolutely true because he's #1 on tour right now on stroke gained approach. His iron play is phenomenal. He's always been good off the tee. this putting starts to come around, Donnie, and yes, he is very much live, not only for this event, but he's alive for at least a major or two this year, for sure.
How about that? And by the way, you saw last night on Netflix, Jazz Chisholm just doing a mid-game conversation with the booth here, which added absolutely nothing. But we do this in golf as well. Chris Gotterup, he's talking about, hey, I was mic'd up for the players.
Yeah, I mean, guys have asked in terms of like, how did they do it and how intrusive was it? And it was really, after the practice round, I've gotten used to wearing a wire and TGL and having the headset in, so it's not too much of a pain for me. But after the first, couple shots with the wire up your back, that's how we did it. You don't even realize it's there. And there was a couple edits that we had to make because I forgot that I was mic'd. A couple, hit one in the water and an F-bomb slipped out. But yeah, I thought it was great, and I think it's just cool insight. Even, I didn't play great the last day, and I just think the real life of us packing it up right after and getting on the road and getting to the next one, it's not, it's just stuff that you don't get to see on, everyday coverage. And, usually coverage is the guys playing the best and, putts going in from here, putts going in from there, and not the true, grind that it is. So, yeah, guys were interested, and, I think, as long as, I really thought it was just another week and it wasn't too much to handle. So I think that was a good sign for, guys were like, all right, that actually sounds like a good idea. So, yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. And the guys that, were involved were very helpful. And, they spent a lot of time out there following us around and editing all the stuff. And it's amazing how quick they turned it around. So, yeah, it was cool. The whole thing was cool.
Mic'd up for a practice round, I get it here. Mic'd up for an actual round when you're trying to compete for a prestigious championship, Joe, I don't know if I can do it because, number one, he said an earpiece in. Like, we all know, it's not producers' faults at times or anybody else, but that thing can go open while you're in your backswing on the 18th when $1 million is on the line or more. And also, well, you'll forget that you are mic'd up, and you might say things that your sponsor might not like, Joe.
Donnie, listen to me. They don't need these guys to wear a wire. There are shotgun mics. I could be on 3 holes up and still hear everything he's saying.
I mean, why don't they just put the headset on him like we wear headsets in the studio, Joe, here, Easy.
Yeah.
We are really starting to see that slowdown, and we're anticipating it with March Madness this year. Obviously, you don't have as many states going online. Gone are the days when you're adding 10 states every year, so the numbers will inflate that way. And I mentioned prediction markets taking money as well. One firm, HG Gambling Capital, estimates that they'll add about another $500 million in bets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Get 50 home runs? He only stole 13 bases? Boy, he only pitched to a 4.15 ERA. Yeah, he's not the MVP. Who can steal it from him? If Ohtani plays the whole season, who can steal it from him, Tom?
It has to be something so dramatic that it will bring pause to the voters to say, hey, Ohtani's great. He was a good pitcher this year. He was a really good hitter. But what this player doing, we have to take note of.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
So why is this? The bigger question, Kevin, that we should be asking is, why is this happening now? This could have happened last week. Could have happened the week before. It is goodwill season, Kevin. It is goodwill season. We want to make sure the fans are buying those tickets. We are committed to opening day.
I like that.
We are committed to spending them. I mean, look, it is what it is. This is what you do to fire up the fan base.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I do believe there are causes for players to become basketball drunk. Thursday, Friday, you're sitting around a hotel and all you're doing is watching ball. And then you go out on the floor and you're a little bit groggy. Yeah, because all you've done is you've laid in that hotel bed and watched game after game after game. And you get caught up in the emotion. Like everybody in the country was
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
Hour number 2 on deck right here on the early line. It's a Thursday. It's a wonderful Thursday. It's Sweet 16. It's Major League Baseball's opening day. 22 teams involved. Elite 8 this weekend. Better weather on deck. And also, in the not-too-distant future, the Masters will roll around, and we'll be taking a look at patrons and second cuts and late golf claps, and away we go, Joe. But we got 1 hour to go. Kevin Walsh is going to join us here, the host of Game Time Decisions, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the network, and he hosts that with Gabriel Morency. And a little bit later, we're going to talk some basketball, which Coach James Young, who may be going by a different name today, behind the scenes. How about that, Joe? Fun on deck. Oh, look, this is where you know he's having fun. This is where he's having fun. I know he's locked in. Ranieri's locked in. He's locked in. See that? The energy is so high today. It's like a megawatt. His mic is done. He can't talk. That's how excited he is. But you know what? I got you guys covered right now. Look, come on, man. Where were you, Joe? Hey, where were you, man?
It's the C team. That's the problem. We got the C team working behind the scenes here, Donnie. That's the problem here. But no, I am ready here. Give me some Major League Baseball on full schedule. I am ready for that moving forward here, because if I got to watch any more NBA games look like all-star games and they're scoring 300 points in a game, Donnie, that's it for me.
By the way, I thought you were doing another one of your bits. Like, I like this here. And I realized, his mic's just not on at this point. He's so fired up for Major League Baseball opening day, Joe. 22 teams involved. And we get one of the best games right out of the chute on the day. Paul Skeens, you saw him in the World Baseball Classic already dealing here. He's going up against Mr. Peralta, the new ace for the Mets. And how about this? Pittsburgh is a slight underdog in that game. And away we go, Joe, with a full slate. Love to see it. It's finally here.
Yeah, it is, Donnie, and I'm pumped for it, man. I'm excited. And afternoon baseball too, a little later in the week. Get ready for those, right? We got getaway games coming again. I'm all excited. Last night, despite the whole pageantry and red carpet ridiculousness by Netflix, it was good to have baseball on in prime time again.
And I'll tell you what's incredible. Primetime NFL football. Yeah, we love it here. We're going to get a start to the season, as we always do. Sure, Seattle's going to open up the season at home. We're just going to wait to see who they're actually going to play. But, Joe, this year, it's not a Thursday night game. It's a Wednesday night football game to open the season, which I don't care. I love it. I think it's fantastic. But the caveat is, well, why is that on a Wednesday night? Well, truth be told, the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams, which is a huge game, is going to be played in Australia on Friday morning while we watch it live on Thursday night in the States. Doesn't make any sense, but the NFL's like, you're going to give us a little bit more money? We'll do whatever you guys want.
Yeah, because, Donnie, they know they could put it on any day of the week at any time, and we're watching it. We've already proven that. They know it, so listen, they're just like, wherever we can maximize the most money, we know we'll drop what we're doing and watch a game no matter when it is, Donnie, no matter what time of the week.
And even forget who the home team is, right? Rams or the 49ers. That is a monster game in your division with two teams that think they can get to the Super Bowl. And you're saying like, okay, we're going to take away one of your home games here to play it in Australia. We saw this a couple years back when they started saying, hey, you know, it's going to be great here, those Friday night games with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. And they played it on an ice skating rink. It was a massive game that the Eagles ended up winning in Saquon Barkley's debut with the Philadelphia Eagles. That catapulted them into the Super Bowl. But at the same time, I asked the question, Joe, we don't need this. If you preseason football, each team gets to play 3 games. Play them, Joe, around the world. Spain, Italy, Australia, New Zealand, Japan. Nobody cares. They'll sell it out because people just want to watch football. But when you get to the regular season, just keep it even, keep it competitive, and keep it fair. The NFL doesn't like to do that. Why? The almighty dollar here. But Las Vegas, the almighty dollar does speak as well. They're getting another round at the Super Bowl. It really, dear Joe, feels like it's the perfect destination. We were out there for the Super Bowl as a company a few short years ago. It was like 50 degrees and raining all week. That's not normal. Usually at that time of the year, you're still going to get 70-degree temperatures, bright sunny skies. It's the perfect place to host a Super Bowl. I can never hate on Las Vegas getting another one, Joe. They deserve it.
Listen, I mean, Vegas is always, it's a destination kind of thing, and I get it there, but still, believe it should be in sunny places, open arenas, you know what I mean, and have fun there. But that's all right. I mean, when is the last time we've actually had a Super Bowl on the East Coast, Donnie, though? It feels like it's been forever. Feels like it's been forever.
Like Atlanta's going to get one, but like Miami should be at least every third year automatically. I don't care who else gets the Super Bowl at this point. And by the way, NFL, don't just stop the old, like, hey, if you build a stadium, you get a Super Bowl. Nobody wants to go to Minnesota. Nobody wants to go to New York. Nobody's going to want to go to Philadelphia. Nobody's going to want to go to Washington or even Jacksonville at that point is like the cutoff line. Keep it to the cities where everybody can enjoy, and nice weather is a key. And by the way, when we were down there in New Orleans, it was fantastic weather down there. Great city as well. Patrick Mahomes, you know where he wants to play? 2027 in LA, 2028 in Atlanta, 2029 in Vegas. He's coming back, Joe. There's video. The man looks good.
Yeah, and listen, a big reason as to why Kelsey signed another contract and is coming back. If Mahomes wasn't doing well and there was any chance that we hope to get him back by December, no way does he come back. But I think that tells you everything you need to know. Mahomes will be ready for the opening game for sure.
NBA Board of Governors going like, yeah, I think we'll expand. If we just put into everyday life, let's just say you're an electrician with a company. And the company goes, hey, Joe, we're going to bring in 2 more electricians. But you know what's going to happen? Your salary is going to get tripled just because we bring that guy in. Whoa, vote no on it. Of course, Las Vegas and Seattle are going to be okayed once we get the price point of $10 billion per team.
Yeah, listen, there'll be a bidding war, Donnie. Who are we kidding? They'll actually have to tell guys, no, we don't want your $10 billion. There will be that kind of interest here because it's a cash cow, Donnie. It's an absolute cash cow. And that just means we're going to get more bad basketball from 2 more teams. Congrats, NBA. You figured it out.
By the way, if you are bidding on this, and I understand, like, Seattle's a bigger market than Las Vegas is, but boy, it's got to be fun to have a team in Las Vegas. No, like the Raiders just go down to Vegas. They build up a stadium. They pay for it. Even Oakland/Sacramento is moving down there, and they're getting a stadium built at this point here. It would be fun to own a team. But by the way, did you see Magic Johnson? Correct me if I'm wrong. He's like, okay, well, I want to lead this team to have a bid here in Las Vegas. We're going to build a state-of-the-art arena. How many arenas does Vegas need at this point, Joe? They need a separate basketball arena? Come on.
Yeah. I'm with you. Listen, it worked out very well with the expansion Vegas Knights in the NHL because you know what the Vegas Knights did right off the bat? They won. So it was very easy to be able. You built the foundation. Great stuff. Not to mention a lot of people who live in Vegas aren't exactly from Vegas. They're from hockey towns, out east. So it worked for hockey. I'm skeptical if it's going to work for the NBA.
Yeah, Vegas gamed the system, by the way. You're supposed to get your, hey, we're new to this league and as a expansion team, get your head caved in for at least a decade before you can start to get players on your roster that make sense. So they gamed it and won right away, which is huge for building up that fan base at that point here. How about the Butler Bulldog basketball team? It wasn't too long ago. They were there competing for national championships. Maybe they want to get back to it. They hired a new head coach here.
Yeah, it was that time. Listen, that might have been around for a million years, his second stint there. He retires. And listen, Hinkle Fieldhouse, Donnie, is one of the greatest college basketball arenas. They need to be relevant, Butler, and hopefully it's a step in the right direction.
Movie Hoosiers back in the 1980s, Joe. They went there and they measured the rims. Like, look how big it is in here. It's still the same as if we're back home in Hickory. It is a legendary place. Maybe they can get back to some legendary status here. How about Live Golf? They're getting sued because the distillery says, hey, man, we use your trademark infringement here maybe on our vodkas. You ever been to a liquor store and look at how many vodkas are in there? I've never seen Live Vodka in there in my life, Joe. Does this company even exist?
Yeah. This just in, Donnie. Live Golf has just bought a liquor company, and they now own all the rights to vodka names now because they have that kind of money.
By the way, can we get Live Golf to sponsor the show this morning, or even a Live Golf distillery? We have some little bit cocktails in the morning. It could make for a great show to get the people ready to. We don't need caffeinated Joe. We need Live Golf liquor to get the day started here. You know what's coming up next? Kevin Walsh. Let's see what he has to say. We'll be right back.
We are really starting to see that slowdown, and we're anticipating it with March Madness this year. Obviously, you don't have as many states going online. Gone are the days when you're adding 10 states every year, so the numbers will inflate that way. And you mentioned prediction markets taking money as well. One firm, HG Gambling Capital, estimates that they'll add about another $500 million in bets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Get 50 home runs. He only stole 13 bases. Boy, he only pitched to a 4.15 ERA. Yeah, he's not the MVP. Like, who can steal it from him? If Ohtani plays the whole season, who can steal it from him, Tom?
It has to be something so dramatic that it will bring pause to the voters to say, hey, Ohtani's great. He was a good pitcher this year. He was a really good hitter. But what this player doing, we have to take note of.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
So why is this? The bigger question, Kevin, that we should be asking is, why is this happening now? This could have happened last week. Could have happened the week before. It is goodwill season, Kevin. It is goodwill season. We want to make sure the fans are buying those tickets. We are committed to opening day.
I like that.
We are committed to spending them. I mean, look, it is what it is. Like, this is what you do to fire up the fan base.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
I do believe there are causes for players to become basketball drunk. Thursday, Friday, you're sitting around a hotel and all you're doing is watching ball. And then you go out on the floor and you're a little bit groggy. Yeah, because all you've done is just, you've laid in that hotel bed and watched game after game after game. And you get caught up in the emotion. Like everybody in the country was.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
Right back at it here. It's a Thursday. It's a Sweet 16 Thursday. It's opening day in Major League Baseball. And so many topics to get to today. It's Donnie Rightside. It's Joe Ranieri, and it's Kevin Walsh, host of Game Time Decisions with Gabriel Morency, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the SportsGrid Network. How about that opening, huh? Professional.
It was nice. It was nice. I don't know. Something's going to be coming around the corner.
No digs.
That's the only,
no digs
the only thing I can expect here. All right.
Nah, no digs today. We got business to get to, Kevin. And the business I want to talk about first is, let me tell you something right now. You know we do predictive markets around here. Maybe you're looking at FanDuel, maybe looking at DraftKings. I'm seeing a Philadelphia 76ers team coming back together like this. Joel Embiid, Paul George, 20-point victory last night. Why not us, Kevin? I say, why not us?
I actually am not mad at that. I'm open to the world where the 76ers, for the first time in a long time, went, you know what? Let's be honest about Joel Embiid. There's no way he stays healthy for a full season. Let's see how we look when he's out there. They're like, awesome. Let's bench him. I'll be honest. He snuck by me last night. I didn't know he was back on the slate. I should have known, though, when they were scoring 157 points, 120 points through three quarters. Here is the one thing truly that I know people might try and roll their eyes. If you have the best player in the conference, you have a chance to win the conference. When Joel Embiid is healthy, he can very easily be the best player in the Eastern Conference.
You couldn't help but to be impressed with the defense. They smacked down the Bulls in the fourth quarter last night. You just couldn't. Honestly, defense wins championships. So they'll be on the golf course sooner rather than later here. But let's face it, we got Sweet 16 action happening here tonight. I think some intriguing games here, Kevin, we're being honest. What do you do when a team has already seen you twice, knows you very well? What do we do here with Nebraska and Iowa? Because this could be some ugly basketball here when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it sure could. I think it's one of those games, though, at least for myself, where I had the same thought as you, Joe, when I saw I think the opening number was 134.5. I was like, oh, boy. You know, you got to play some ugly hoop when you see a 134.5 and you go, that looks 10 points too high. But it has come down now to 131.5 here. The one thing when you look into this game is who's going to dictate everything for Iowa? You'd imagine it be Bennett Sturtz. And it was a miraculous win over Florida. It's even more improbable that they won while Sturtz was awful, at least efficiency-wise. 13 points on 5 of 16 shooting, 0 of 9 from 3, just the 5 boards and 5 assists. For those who can bet the college basketball player prop market, I find Sturtz to be a very tempting play because while I know Nebraska is much slower than Florida, I think going from that Gators defense to Nebraska, Sturtz should find a lot more success inside, and he also just should not be going 0 for 9. He goes 2 for 9 from 3. He might get you 25 points in this game.
The game number 2s tonight are absolutely sensational. My only anger is I won't be around to watch either one of those games tonight. So if we could have put those earlier games on at 4 o'clock and these on at 6, I would have loved it because Arkansas, Arizona is everything you love about college basketball. Coaches that could be lightning rods here, unbelievable talent, guys that are already getting shoe deals as freshmen in college because they're so good. You total for here, Kevin. 166.5 and a favorite of Arizona -7.5. Burries is out there getting off. You got A-Cup that's going to go off tonight. So much fun in this one, Kevin. How are we playing this night, Arizona and Arkansas?
Yeah, it's a really fun game to break down. The one thing I was a little surprised by, I think I just kind of assumed from afar that Arkansas shot a bunch of threes because they have a bunch of NBA guys, right? Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, even Trevon Brazile will step out. They don't shoot as many threes because Arizona is a uber efficient team who basically has one guy they trust to shoot the three-point shot, and it's Burries, as you mentioned, Donnie. And sometimes math is math, right? And like 3 is more so than 2. So for Arkansas, I wonder if they uptick that three-point volume a little bit here in this game, introduce some of the variance, because for Arizona, it is quite impressive. We had a stretch where, not that they were viewed as a cut below, but nobody thought they were the best team in college basketball. We can't pretend that that was the case. It was Michigan and Duke viewed as the 1-2 clearly. Michigan was seen as the 1. Duke beat them. People were like, okay, it's Duke, Michigan instead of Michigan, Duke. And Arizona are the favorites, right? Arizona sit atop marginally. I get it, Ken Palm. So it's been a really impressive run. But, I've seen this is the biggest dog price that John Calipari has been since he's been at UMass. These are spots that Cal's comfortable in. No expectations. Cal comes up with excuses for when they play Hawaii and High Point, but I've never seen 2 ball clubs this good here. Now he plays a team in Arizona where it's house money. That's a dangerous John Calipari.
I agree with you. And now listen, it can't all be chalk, right? There's got to be one outright upset in the Sweet 16. What game does it happen? Is it Texas? Who is it? Who's the outright winner?
It's interesting, but the more I look at this slate, it might even carry over tomorrow. Sometimes, I'm not saying I'm not breaking these games down, but I wonder if it's like, you know what? Let's just click every dog. Let's click every dog and see what we get out of here with. But they all do feel like Texas can absolutely hang with Purdue. Miami was up at the break against that team, and I think Texas at this point in the year is better than the Miami Hurricanes team. Not by a lot, but I think Texas is a little bit better. It's a light number when we talk about a Houston, Illinois game, but I think Illinois is a tough matchup for the Cougars. And I'm not I know, the 3 of us will talk tomorrow. You're telling me the Johnnies can't knock off Duke? They absolutely can. So I think we should have some dogs barking here in the Sweet 16, but still setting up some pretty fun Elite 8 games.
Sweet 16s without the Cinderella. Love to see it, people. Stars of Friday. Kevin Walsh will be right back to join him for Game Time Decisions tonight on the Grid.
we are really starting to see that slowdown, and we're anticipating it with March Madness this year. Obviously, you don't have as many states going online. Gone are the days when you're adding 10 states every year, so the numbers will inflate that way. And I mentioned prediction markets taking money as well. One firm, HG Gambling Capital, estimates that they'll add about another $500 million in bets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
He didn't get 50 home runs. He only stole 13 bases. Boy, he only pitched to a 4.15 ERA. Yeah, he's not the MVP. Like, who can steal it from him? If Ohtani plays the whole season, who can steal it from him, Tom?
It has to be something so dramatic that it will bring pause to the voters to say, hey, Ohtani's great. He was a good pitcher this year. He was a really good hitter. But what this player doing, we have to take note of.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
So why is this? The bigger question, Kevin, that we should be asking is, why is this happening now? This could have happened last week. Could have happened the week before. It is goodwill season, Kevin. It is goodwill season. We want to make sure the fans are buying those tickets. We are committed to opening day.
I like that.
We are committed to spending them. I mean, look, it is what it is. Like, this is what you do to fire up the fan base.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I do believe there are causes for players to become basketball drunk. Thursday, Friday, you're sitting around a hotel and all you're doing is watching ball. And then you go out on the floor and you're a little bit groggy. Yeah, because all you've done is just, you've laid in that hotel bed and watched game after game after game. And you get caught up in the emotion. Like everybody in the country was.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Right back at it. You having fun out there, people? Absolutely. Opening day in Major League Baseball. Well, technically it was last night, but today we get 22 teams out there. The Sweet 16, Joe. I got to tell you, like, the excitement level for today, just ramping up. Great basketball, great baseball, the way we go into the weekend.
Can't wait, Donnie. I mean, I'm excited, man. We got, a little early afternoon. We go from, having early college basketball to now having early Major League Baseball. You got to love it.
Now, the reason I had the delay right there because we didn't get tagged today in our Fade the Public poll. So let's see what the people are digging on our Fade the Public poll. Woo. See you, shout it out, Joe. Look, again, just trying to find out what we're doing here. Where is your action focus today is the question we asked. 4 options, Joe. MLB opening day, Sweet 16, NBA, NHL. Wait a second here. Wait a second, Joe. You seeing that graphic right there? This is a first in early line history here. Do you see that graphic and what's happening? Can you see it?
No, and I don't want to see it, Donnie. I don't want to see it, Donnie. Don't want it.
0 votes for NBA, NHL. They didn't get it. There's not a single vote for them, Joe.
What, you mean to tell me the Houston Open actually got a vote over?
Yes.
That is crazy.
Cam must have voted 10 times on that.
Wow. And not to mention, Donnie, there's 300 NHL games here tonight too as well. Wow.
Now that's impressive. Major League Baseball not even leading the day with their technical opening day, but the Sweet 16 is fantastic. Cannot wait to see that play out. By the way, Joe, again, when I was telling Kevin, there's no shame in this. Like, I love Cinderellas until they win the basketball game. Give the top seed a run, but don't win it because we get better basketball on top of it. Now, the only shame of it really is we didn't actually get Florida in the Sweet 16 because you'd be looking at maybe the greatest Sweet 16 in the history of basketball for what we were going to anticipate. But you look at some of these games, including the 2 late games tonight, Joe, they are set to be fantastic. And you know what would have ruined it? If James Madison or whoever was in this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to tell you, Yanni, the idea of David versus Goliath it's nice. It's a fairy tale kind of thing, but the reality is it's Goliath versus Goliath, and from this point on, that's all it's going to be. Do not be fooled by the number 11 next to Texas's name or 9 next to Iowa. These are not Cinderella teams. These are teams that have invested multi-million dollars in their rosters here.
Absolutely. And by the way, I took one on the chin last night and got hammered with my NBA wager on Toronto. That's going to change now. And here comes bye. It feels like a college basketball night. Like, whoa, you guys got to go baseball. Sweet 16 tonight. It's going to captivate your attention, Joe. I'll let you lead the way. Where are we going tonight?
Well, it's simple. Just fade the Mets here opening day. There's your baseball angle. And let's go to college basketball here, Donnie, and the game of the night. And I'm sorry, playing in Houston is an advantage for Houston. And that's exactly what they're doing here tonight. Again, only 9 losses since 2018 do the Houston Cougars have when they play in the city of Houston. Styles make fights, Donnie. You got one of the best defensive teams. I think I have a coaching advantage going up against one of the best offensive teams. I'm not buying it. We have seen Illinois lose twice to Wisconsin, once to UCLA, once to Michigan, and once to Michigan State. And you know what? None of those teams defensively are as physical or play bully ball like Houston does. That is the Achilles heel of Illinois, and that is why Houston wins this game going away here tonight.
Ooh, I'm going to go against the public here tonight, Joe. I'm going to take that 9:45 game, Arkansas versus Arizona, which is out at the SAP Center in San Jose. So time advantage going towards Arizona. Arizona only getting 29% of the tickets right now. That line currently sits at 7.5. I'm taking the number 3 most efficient defense in the country and pairing with the number 4 most efficient offense today. Show up or show out. I'm going Arizona in a public fade against Arkansas. By the way, I like Arkansas. Fun basketball team, absolutely no doubt about it. But tonight, it's a Wildcat night for me. 2 games we gave you tonight in college basketball action. It's time to get the party started, Joe. And by the way, late night action as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, baseball in the afternoon, college basketball right through at the end. It is a beautiful time of year.
It is a great time of the year. And also, do you know what comes up next year? Prediction Markets Edge. You're going to love this year because it is basketball-centric. We got Major League Baseball. The excitement is overflowing. It's Donnie Rightside. It's Joe Ranieri. It's a Thursday morning. It's a SportsGrid Network. Keep it tuned right here. We'll be right back.
I don't like to overthink it, Kevin. I really don't. And similar situation, I feel the same way when it comes to betting. I find like that Sunday night, so, you're watching the NFL games, and all of us do it. Like, all right, let's look to next week now. You know what I mean? That Sunday, the dust is settled on the game. They just end. So I'm like, let's look at next week. My first reaction is always the best reaction.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Why the regular season, Joe, does mean something, because Detroit is going to get a back-end team in the East to begin.
Yes, and it does. And it's just a very strange situation, unfortunate situation for Cade Cunningham in Detroit. But the good news is, if you keep playing teams like the Washington Wizards, well, you're not going to need Cade Cunningham to win those games like they did last night.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We are really starting to see that slowdown, and we're anticipating it with March Madness this year. Obviously, you don't have as many states going online. Gone are the days when you're adding 10 states every year, so the numbers will inflate that way. And I mentioned prediction markets taking money as well. One firm, HG Gambling Capital, estimates that they'll add about another $500 million in bets.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You can put your skill and your luck to work on Kalshi. Why? They're offering $1 billion here if you can pick the perfect bracket. Sounds easy, Joe. Just pick the perfect bracket, get $1 billion.
Yeah, I think the odds of actually doing that, Donnie, are about the same if you're expecting to hit the Powerball lottery 6 times in a year.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.